welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is it. Game number 3 coming at you here in this best of 3, our final game of the day. And we got Alliance versus Vega Squadron, seeing which team moves on again to the playoffs and which team will have to face off in the losers bracket against Navi. Well, I'm Breaky CBK, joined by Tsunami here once again. And this is it. We got Crystal Maiden and Clockwork so far, and vice versa even. Similar picks to what we've been seeing. We'll see how the second pick is.
Remaining.
But, yeah, I mean, I can see this going either way. Both teams have definitely looked solid at points in this series.
Remaining.
They have, and both their drafts also have been pretty solid. I can't really say that at any point there was like, you know, the biggest thing I could fault is just the Alliance, the Alliance Enigma pick. But, you know, I'm actually not sure if they picked it into a Kunko or if Kunko was picked first. But regardless, that was the one aspect in which Vega Squadron kind of outdrafted Enigma. Mainly Enigma. Can't even say Alliance as a whole, because the rest of the heroes were doing pretty fine, but just the fact that such a big team fight ultimate was never really able to find its place in the game was a big hamper on Alliance's capabilities that game. But this game, they are going to be putting Limp on a Shadow Fiend, so it's a hero that we haven't seen throughout the series, and hero that I actually don't see too often in general. Definitely a hero that I very rarely see first phase, but I have never known Alliance to be able to, you know, they march to the beat of their own drum when it comes to drafting, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'm sure Alliance fans are hoping it comes out with a positive result for this draft.
That would be the game plan here, and, you know, Limp Shadow Fiend definitely is something that's of strength, and, of course, they already got the Shadow Fiend Clockwork combo. Of course, the adding up the souls from the beginning, indeed, as long as they execute it, which they practiced once or twice before, so I assume he's going to do a good job of getting those initial souls and then setting up the middle matchup pretty nicely as a result. So, yeah, it's kind of already invested into that idea at least. They're going to ban out TA so far. That's what could have been a potential middle option to go up against the Shadow Fiend. We'll see who else comes to mind. Maybe something like that.
I wouldn't be surprised if Vega ban out Ogre, or if they don't ban it out, then I wouldn't be surprised if Alliance go for Ogre, because Shadow Fiend's definitely a hero that needs that babysitting mid, and obviously Bloodlust is excellent whenever you put it onto a Shadow Fiend, and Alliance did pick it in game 1, but they ban out one of the hardest matches for SF, which is that TA, and I would guess that the rest of their bans will likely be oriented towards giving Shadow Fiend a good lane. We haven't really seen too much Invoker, but Invoker's not necessarily like a strong laner against Shadow Fiend, but, you know, just heroes that are high damage, and so, yeah, ban out the Lina as well.
There is that Lina ban. So, now Vega Squadron getting that third pick. Do they get the response to Shadow Fiend now? Their matchup even, or do they wait for that? You talked about the idea of the Ogre, though, for Alliance. Definitely be a potential hero. You know, one that they clearly like to run. LC is going to be the option so far for Vega Squadron.
Okay, so that justifies the Dazzle ban, but then it seems that Vega Squadron is not too concerned about their mid matchup. They still have plenty of options, and if they wait for the very last pick, then they're risking one more phase of bans for Alliance, but at the same time, then they can pick a mid that not only does well against Shadow Fiend, but will also do well against whatever the Alliance 5th pick will be.
This is the same draft so far for Vega Squadron, right? By the way, from game 1, I want to say? Because, yeah, they have the Crystal Tuscan and LC, I'm pretty sure.
I think you're right, yeah.
So, they are sticking to a similar strategy, at least. Oh, okay, that's a different path. That's more of a defensive, you could argue, you know, with the idea of the E ability, the Cold Embrace there.
Yeah, it seems like Alliance are equally concerned about Legion Commander. I imagine that they would have preferred the Dazzle, but seeing as how Dazzle got banned out, they go for the Winter Wyvern. But Vega Squadron with an excellent response pick. Who cares if you're physical immune if Queen of Pain can just dump a lot of magic and pure damage onto you? So Wyvern is definitely going to need to be very, very judicious with how Cold Embrace is being used, because otherwise you're setting up for a lot of Vega Squadron damage.
Yeah, they picked that up pretty quickly, too, and there's a Weaver pick coming out for Alliance. Kind of another, you know, that's been an interesting theme here for Alliance these last couple of games. Oh, well, I guess he did play, wait, who did Loda play last game?
Game 1.
Well, he played Troll game 1, yeah, that's more typical, but he played the
Game 2
Slark. Yeah, I guess that's kind of another hero. Maybe we don't. Point is that yeah, maybe not a typical load as of late hero, but still, Weaver coming out as their what you figure to be a one position here.
Yeah, I would imagine so. I mean, they could put it in the off lane if they want Clockwork to be doing that same kind of support-oriented thing that Vega Squadron did, but the way Alliance played Clockwork, they had Jonas and Fan just get a really early level 6. Unfortunately, it didn't... Well, actually, that was game 1, wasn't it?
The Clockwork?
On Jonas and Fan?
I think that was game 1.
Yeah, that was game 1, because it was G, Queen of Pain. And so, yeah, they prefer a more core-oriented Clockwork as opposed to the support-oriented Clockwork, so... Yeah, it's not too dangerous for a Weaver. He has to be concerned about... Like, Lincoln's is going to be absolutely necessary. Ideally, as a first item, if Loda wants to play aggressive, he can go for, like, the Medallion build, but it'll be a little bit more risky because he has to worry about Frostbite, he has to worry about Walrus Punch, Snowball, he has to worry about Duel, and of course, even if you do complete the Lincolns, then in theory, Queen of Pain can just pop it with a Shadow Strike. But Alliance are going to protect this Weaver with an Earthshaker, which isn't really the most intimidating hero for what Vega Squadron have, really, because, you know, you have a lot of repositioning with Tusk, you have a lot of repositioning with Legion Commander almost certainly building a Blink Dagger and Queen of Pain having an inherent Blink. So, yeah, I'm kind of surprised by this Earthshaker pick.
Yeah, they get it with that 5th and final pick right there for Alliance. I mean, it does kind of set up a little bit of wombo combo potential here with the Shadow Fiend. And
you can go for Lifestealer on Vega Squadron. Only thing is you may risk getting kited around by Weaver, so if they want something that can specifically deal with Weaver, Alliance did ban out the Slark, which is one option, but
more traditional carries. As far as what could come to mind, I mean, something like a Oh no, Terrorblade's actually banned. Never mind. The other way
yeah,
we do
first
see,
phase ban. Alliance has been repeatedly respecting the Terrorblade, which Vega Squadron have a very high win rate with the hero, so they know how it works. But could go for a Core Revenge.
Nah, she's banned.
Oh, no, never mind. They banned it out.
Yeah, I was actually thinking that too. Then noticed that there. Yeah, it's not the best options as they're kind of figuring out here. So Vega Squadron, you kind of wonder what their ultimately going to end up with. Juggernaut is still on the board. That's just, again, kind of always like you can always go back to Juggernaut.
Yeah. The Weaver has definitely thrown a wrench into Vega Squadron's plans because they have the heroes necessary to deal with it. But if the game goes late, then you need a carry that can deal with it. They go for Morphling. Okay, so a hero that can kind of keep the pace with Weaver, doesn't get kited too easily. But, in lane, he might have some issues. Yeah. Because, again, Vega Squadron, they really like this Crystal Maiden support, which Crystal Maiden's an exceptional support, but you need someone to be able to babysit the Morphling pretty easily. And honestly, Alliance could go aggressive if they want to put this Weaver in like a tri-lane with Wyvern Shaker and then like Clockwork just solo up top. I don't really know if Alliance like playing their Weaver that way though.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, I don't know. I feel like that they have done some aggressive stuff in the past. To be fair, with Loda up there and everything, so not out of the question necessarily.
5 seconds
but yeah, whether they decide to do that or whether they just say we want to make sure to get our farm onto Weaver and be absolute there, it'll be interesting to see what they do. But yeah, Tusk last time in the hands of Sima once again, and we saw how powerful he proved to be in the beginning of that game 1 at least.
Yeah, his shard placement was a virtuoso performance. Although, they put EGM on the Shaker and they put Handskin on the Wyvern. I would have figured it would have been the other way around.
Why is that?
But, well, because I figured that Wyvern would have been like the hard 5. And so that's usually EGM's role.
Yeah, I feel like they kind of swap depending on the hero quite a bit. Maybe even more than other teams. So,
but whenever it's like this, like, you know, medic-oriented support, like Dazzle is always EGM, and so I figured Wyvern may have been in the same field. But you know, I'm sure they've ironed it out. They didn't pick the search check, and they're like, oh crap, who's gonna play it?
All right, There's the clockwork. The cogs begin. Let me make sure I update my overlay. There we go. Alright, so he's already got 3. Off to a good start.
Yeah, I've seen many teams fail it, so it may look easy, but it does take some coordination.
Yeah, because you need that initial attack right before.
You're all like 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock.
Yeah. You have to attack the same one.
Wow. 6 denies on the Shadow Fiend. He's so good.
So good. This Earthshaker, meanwhile, him and Tusk ran into one another. Earthshaker already got his vision down, though. He got here very quickly. One in the middle, one blocking the pole camp. Bottom down there. Back over to Shadow Fiend. He's going to get 12 here.
I'm surprised that they're not invading. Like, you know that this strategy is going on. You don't pick Clockwork and Shadow Fiend and don't do this. And so Vega Squadron get a little bit of an opening if they want to invade aggressively. Yeah. Which, they put one fairly aggressive ward down in the Dire offlane, but they're not going to contest any of the runes. It looks like they might be going aggressive, just not in the way that I figured. They might be sending Weaver to solo up here. Okay. And then letting a Shaker, Wyvern, Clockwork tri-lane together.
Yep. Oh, let's try to get it still. Left on the top lane up here,
yeah,
but
Sioma
LC
tried to go
takes
for the read.
So, no, they're actually going to come up here.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Okay, so not an aggressive try, but still a tri-lane.
I wonder if they're waiting to see if anything from Vega Squadron is going to happen as far as lane changes, but no, it's pretty standard again on their side too. LC just solo up the top lane. Of course, Crystal here to babysit the Morphling bottom, so lanes end up being pretty safe on either side, although it's going to be Earthshaker and Tusk roaming around and roaming into each other. Early on here, Winter Wyvern pops that Arctic Burn and going to start allowing the harassment to begin. Seaman runs right into them. Wow. That was the wrong side.
I love that hammer and sickle formation that comes every single time these two heroes are in the game.
Yeah. That's pretty funny, actually. Well, that's if that hits on the other side, you know, maybe that's a different story right there, but it did not, so he walks away. But again, Loda.
They have it again.
Oh,
but
God.
Afterlife is fast. That overwhelming odds, giving 30% more move speed, just a little bit out of range for EGM. Which even then, I'm pretty sure Afterlife would have just eaten his way around, but yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be frustrating if you're a Shaker.
I'm surprised that EGM didn't go for more focus on mid, because like G was holding on to his first skill point, and so you don't know whether he'll take Blink at 1. And so in that situation, then you know your Fissure Block would be unsuccessful. But he went for the Shadow Strike onto SF, and SF had a lot of bonus damage. So if you get the successful Fissure Block off, and Queen of Pain has Shadow Strike, then you can deal a lot of damage early on. But instead, putting more of a focus on the top lane, didn't get anything, unfortunately, and now Queen of Pain has Blink at level 2.
Oh, Arcane Rune going to spawn. Tusk will gladly take that. Ice Shards go out immediately, but unable to block Jonas Van. We saw what happened in that game 1. He had some nice plays with that, but so far, he hasn't been able to be as effective earlier on. He's going to do some bounty rune control, though, just like he was once again in game number 1, so nice job there. But Clockwork back to the bottom, and almost level 3 himself. So yeah, Jonas Fan, it seems like he's doing just fine down here, as we almost expected in the off lane.
Yeah, but at the same time, Morphling is doing better than fine. Has 8 last hits on top of Weaver, and it's because Loda's been spending a lot of time going aggressive on Afterlife, but you know, you're gonna have to keep the pace with the Morphling because the Morphling will outcarry a Weaver.
Top lane, Afterlife. Oh, gonna take some
overwhelming odds.
Wait,
no.
Did I see that right? Did he use a Splinter Blast on LC?
I don't know. He may have. It would have been unfortunate because the creep wave was right there, but yeah.
That was interesting. Anyways, he's going to find him over at the jungle, and he's going to use it right here just to simply slow him, I guess. But not going to be nearly a kill. Yeah, that's, I don't know. That seems odd. Like, why is he doing that? Oh, well. It's like a waste of mana. But
either way, this Legion Commander is getting a lot done. And this is the, like, what the Earthshaker is not really getting anything done. EGM is still level 1, 3.5 minutes into the game, hasn't had any successful fissure blocks there. More importantly, has not created pressure. Like, sometimes when, you know, Earthshaker's off the map, you're like, oh, I have to position myself a little bit more carefully. But Morphling has waveform, so he's not concerned. Legion Commander has exceptional move speed, and they've already failed 2 gank attempts on her. And mid, Queen of Pain has Blink, so Earthshaker is having a real hell of a time trying to get something done in this early game.
Earthshaker going at it with LC, going to stun him right as the bounty responds, so good time in there from EGM, and he'll pick it up as a result, so well played.
Mid lane, Limp. Tusk isn't level 2 yet, unfortunately.
Nope.
He needs to sap it off of this creep. If he can get this creep, then he'll hit level 2.
Smoke's going to be wearing off, though. So
oh god, he
has
was
to get
in
back
range.
before. So yeah, we'll remain still barely level 1 here. Regenerate bottom. Crystal Maiden. Just going to simply protect it for now, but...
Look at that, zoning out an Earthshaker. You get away.
Yeah.
You get away, this is my room.
Regeneration.
All right, maximum efficiency there as
Oh
middle
my
lane. G goes
gosh.
down.
I had my eyes on it, but I wasn't even processing that it would be a kill.
I did not, unfortunately. So,
Well, you just basically just missed raises and a Queen of Pain standing in raises. Wow. Okay. So Limp gets a massive boost out of that.
yeah, he's already had a decent start because of the
nice shards.
They're going to shards him. He's pissed off. His Queen of Pain wants a revenge, but EGM going to prevent that if anything. His intimidating factor keeps him away.
What?
Meanwhile,
What the
bottom
hell?
lane.
What?
This is where the T-Tours come out, and I get called a shitcaster because...
How the hell does that even happen? He doesn't even have that much, like, he didn't go max agi or something. He had, you know, basically like 75% agi. He must have, I mean, like, the only situation in which that happens is because Morphling was going aggressive. Now Sioma might get vengeance, gets the vision.
Finds him. Nice shards now blocking him, though. The Orb of
no.
Venom. It's not going to take him down. He's fine.
No. I don't know if that shard actually did damage or if it just repositioned him. I don't think it dealt damage.
Winter Wyvern bottom lane. Meanwhile, he's dealing with them. He has the Arctic Burn up, and now he's trying to run away. Without the Splinter Blast, gets a turn kill on a Tusk right before he goes down. I mean, Splinter Blast actually does some decent damage. Level 2 now.
Now Clockwork's back.
Oh, yeah.
Waveform up in 1 second.
Get him first. Battery salt's up. He's going to have hook shot after a couple of creep kills, but I don't know if that's going to happen quick enough. Yeah. Not worth it.
I mean, just the fact that he's managed to get, yet again, Jonas and Fan impresses me with how much he's able to get done. I mean, he got a solo kill on Morphling, so that's definitely, like, a big part of it, but still, like, I don't know how he does it, but Clockwork does not really have this easy of a time. Jonas and Fan just makes it look easy.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
See, once again, Limp applying some good pressure. It doesn't get the kill this time around on Quap, but launches those races into the trees and gets her to blink away very defensively. So Quap all the way back at base, actually. And you see what she only has 2 null talismans. She's still even trying to work on that bottle here.
Dire's bottom tower
He's
is
having
under attack.
a struggle, to say the least. Meanwhile, on the other side, Shadow Fiend has his full power treads finished. At this rate, they're setting up middle because of this, though. They want to really slow down Limp. Understandably.
SF has an illusion rune, and Jonas and Fan is in position to turn it around.
Oh, no.
So if they go in, hook shot, wants to find G.
Yeah, this is interesting. There goes the ice shards, but actually Jonas Fan will catch G, and the support's like, wait a second, I thought we were the ones playing aggressive. Crystal Maiden goes down, poured in, overwhelming odds hits, but not doing the most damage. Splinter Blast comes out, and the real you wants this kill. He gets it, but at what cost? Down goes Morphling, maybe, press the attack to help him out. He has a waveform also going strength, so he is going to be fine, actually. Oof, that's Morphling for you, but big picture, Alliance comes out on top there for sure.
Yeah, unfortunately, Hanskin had no points in Cold Embrace. Went for 1 in Arctic Burn, 2 in Splinter Blast, and was almost level 4. Could have maybe saved the Clockwork. I couldn't agree more, EGM. 4 heroes disconnecting is a bit of a problem.
That's so clutch.
Yeah, if they had managed to get that Cold Embrace, then Morphling would have been pretty screwed because he used Waveform aggressively to get damage onto the Clockwork, but gets the kill and gets out by help of Press the Attack, so good rotation on the real you to show up for this fight. But he's still, you know, he's most last hits in the game. Freaking Limp has 32 denies, 6 of which were, or maybe a little bit more than 6 of which were cogs, but still definitely taking G to school in this mid lane right now.
Yeah, I want to say at least, what, 15 would have been denies then from the beginning there. So But even with that in mind, yeah, 40 and what would that be, 17 as well. So yeah, he is definitely doing a great job here in the middle lane once again, and looks like Olaf Vega Squadron back online, ready to go here. That was one of those where you know that they're landing kind of deals.
Radiant's top tower
Just like a
is under
hiccup here,
attack.
as a lot of these teams are, though. In fact, Alliance, I think it's the same story. They're boot camping, they're grinding it out in their house here in Sweden.
As well they should be. These tournaments are very, very important, and well, both of these teams definitely are by no means guaranteed to be invited to any upcoming tournaments, so they need all the good showings that they can get.
Well, especially too with Alliance, you know, obviously the recent news, they got invited to the Star Ladder. It was kind of a last minute thing.
Yes, that's right.
That's just another thing that they, look forward to here. That's one of the main reasons why they dropped out of the Dream League, as we were mentioning earlier. Unfortunately. But anyways, back to this game. LC, phase boots, he's trying to finish those. He's kind of sneaking up slowly.
EGM has his moment.
There we go. His moment is filled again, unfortunately.
I mean, like the Fissures missed do look bad, but chances of the Legion Commander dying are pretty slim regardless, because he has Quelling Blade. There's no real way to get a full block and block out the trees, so Legion Commander just can turn around overwhelming odds and then just sprint out. So it's a difficult kill, but EGM has no one better to kill because, as mentioned before, Quap has Blink, Morphling has Waveform.
Yeah, meanwhile, Loda, how's he doing up here? 3,200 net worth. He's not doing superb by any means, but he's doing good. He's definitely has free farm up here. The Perseverance has been picked up, and Lake and Sphere eventually.
I think Morphling's CS are inflated both with creeps and with cogs, because there's no way that Shadow Fiend and Weaver are like this far behind a Morphling, who all had free farm lanes. So
yeah, I'm looking at that net worth overall.
Yeah.
Morphling is 1,000 ahead still, so he is doing very well. But yeah, Shadow Fiend, Weaver, and even Clockwork, he is up there. Fourth in the game right now, so that means Quap is definitely struggling, as we've been noticing. Yeah, G's having a rough time again, back at pace, man.
Oh, nice shards.
Top lane.
They have duel, but they don't have damage.
Yeah, block enough, and Team Sport's coming in. They also have the Cold Embrace from Winter Wyvern, just in case. Got to remember that, too. So that's one of the main reasons they picked up the Winter Wyvern, of course, to be able to counter the duel of sorts.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, and Curse is going to be an issue as well for all of Vega Squadron, because, Snowball is a great initiation tool. It's also a great tool for lumping all of your team together in one small area. So
that's true.
If you manage to get yourself into a Winter Wyvern, then you're going to end up killing one of your teammates for sure.
Oh, bottom lane. Morphling. He's going to be pressured by Loda quite a bit. Now the Shikuchi coming up. He'll activate it.
His raindrop.
Yeah, Morphling's going to be fine, but take a lot of damage, and he's actually going to TP out even. Jeez.
Well, he has a replicate, so he can just come back after he regens, and he's going to come back, get himself a bounty rune as well with his Weaver illusion. So, yeah, Morphling is, like I said, it's difficult to keep pace. Oh man, he's transforming a lot of Agi, and Jonas and Fame is invis.
Oh, right on top of it, but now he's going strength. And he'll be fine. He has a magic wand. He even has support coming over, but the Cog's going to block them. He's going to kill some of the Cogs in the process. Snowball coming in, but Jonas and Fan going to hook shot to the neutrals and get more distance here. And he'll be fine. I mean, he had support coming, too. I'm a little surprised that he used it so defensively that could have maybe looked to go for a turn, but it was a late call, perhaps.
Yeah, probably. Not the best way to show off your initial hook shot, but yeah, Morphling is not an easy gank for a Clockwork at any stage of the game, really. You could go for an Orchid on Clockwork, as opposed to something like that traditional Blade Mail, as EGM just gets bullied on the mid lane. But chances are that he'll be going for a Blade Mail, because you pretty much always go for Blade Mail on the Clockwork.
Yeah. Nice job diving, though, onto Earthshaker as we see the tail end of it. And with 3-4 heroes even being here, it's almost like they better get that kill. But TPs are coming in. And obviously Crystal Mid and DC in there, but should be good to go as he is already back in here. Loda's ready, we know that.
Yeah, so we're going to get a TP in from the Wyvern. Not level 6 yet, still about to hit level 5, but Limp is going to take this bot tier 1 along with Loda, so the push is much stronger from Alliance at this stage of the game right now, and without Legion Commander in position to counter push, she takes tier 1 of her own in the top.
Yeah, Loda, mentioned that Lincoln's, at least the Perseverance for now. It seems like
this is going to be a problem dealing with Morphling, because like they have nothing to stop Morphling from just morphing strength. They have no way of silencing him, and they have no burst damage to really discourage him from staying at low agi. Silent gets just run down by Jonas and him, and this Radiant jungle goes down. But just to see him, it's Morphling, yeah. And plus he's going for a Lincoln Sphere right off the bat, so even if Orchids start coming out on the side of Alliance, then you're going to need more than one, because they have Splinter Blast, which will have to be directly cast, and that is it in terms of getting rid of his Lincolns. Or I guess Curse also, but you don't want to have to pop Curse with a... You don't want to have to blow Lincolns with a Curse.
Definitely do not want that. So bottom lane, though, they are going to try to siege right here, but the same thing happening at the top lane. It's Morphling leading the way. It does have LC assistance nearby. LC about 1,500 gold saved up, so that blink is looking pretty nice coming up right here. Loda will make his way to the top, puts that swarm out. And if anything, we'll keep them from actually killing the tower, while Limp, he'll finish the job at the bottom lane. He has his Dragonlance, by the way. Gonna nuke the creep wave, and another 1,000 gold already saved up. So nice sturdy build early on here from Limp. Middle lane, G. Gonna roam on him. There's a fissure stun.
There's Echo. Up.
Oh. No, not gonna happen. Yeah, he was running up.
Now, tier 2 top gets denied.
Well played by Loda, actually. Now they're
Still
going
no
for
Curse.
Morphling. Yeah, as you mentioned, they can't really stop the strength shift, though, so...
Nope.
He's fine. Look at him, too, using the illusion to pull the creep wave back.
Yeah, that's very clever.
Very smart play, and actually gonna make it somewhat difficult up here. Earthshaker.
This is kind of similar to that one Legion Commander game that we had seen. I don't remember which team it was, but oh. Clockwork. Kind of screwed. He went for the hook shot. Could still go for it.
Yeah, there he goes. Actually, now Morphling is in a little bit of trouble. They do get the one guaranteed on Sema, but you get in the second one of Morphling. That's a much more difficult one. So he'll get out, but nice turn, actually.
This will do nicely.
Yeah, so initially I was saying that this Legion Commander is just babysitting this Morphling, which isn't entirely necessary, but it's similar to that other game that we saw with the Anti-Mage Legion Commander combo, where Legion Commander was kind of sacrificing her own farm to make sure that the one position was just... Oh, Crystal Maiden mid lane.
Nah, she's
Hookshot's not up, though. And it makes sense. Legion Commander, like, even if you get Blink duels, there's not really going to be very much follow-up since G had such a tough time in the mid lane. If G had a better start, then you'd be probably putting more priority in finding some duels and stuff like that. But right now, G's playing recovery, Morphling's getting larger and larger, and the supports of Vega Squadron are also getting a fair amount of items as Crystal Maiden is working on a Midas, a long ways away from it, but the idea is there. And meanwhile, Alliance are going to go for Roche as we get yet another disconnect.
Yeah, as a team, they had that one earlier, but this is a third one now in Crystal Maiden, so clearly something's going up. And, you know, there was, what was it, the series a couple of days ago, we did see a little bit of the moment from, I forget the opponents they were even playing on that one, but they basically unpaused it earlier before the other team actually agreed to unpause the game because Loda was just so frustrated with all the pauses that were happening at the beginning of the game, so it's, I mean, this one's clearly, you know, it's not their fault. It's just technical issues. It happens. But as a player, I mean, it's got to be a little frustrating. And it's even as a spectator, it is, of course, where you're constantly being disrupted.
Yeah, it's been a long day. It's been a long day for Alliance.
Oh, yeah.
I imagine that they want to get this over with.
Yep.
Ideally with a victory.
Yeah, they played, what was it, Na'Vi earlier. They lost to them 2-0.
Yep.
So you're mentioning in the...
At least it was a relatively close series, but... I think they would have preferred a longer series if it was up to them. Uh-oh.
That was the Epicenter qualifiers. Yeah.
Wow.
No, Morphling DCs.
The epidemic continues.
All right, follow a train here. What do we got for tomorrow? Obviously, the coverage does continue tomorrow. Looking right here to make sure. I guess it's not 100% figured out just yet, so keep an eye on that and see what the plan is for tomorrow, but... It's going to be the final matches of each group, I believe, is scheduled to happen. It's just a matter of which one's first and which one's second. So keep an eye. Mouse Sports versus Pro Dota, we know, is going to be one matchup. The loser of this will play Na'Vi as well. So top lane, back to this game, though. They're chasing out Morphling yet again. We've seen this do several times, but as you keep stressing, it's like, how do you truly kill him? That's the tough part.
5 seconds until TP, but they don't... Oh, wait, Wyvern's 6 now. Oh, they can definitely do something now. He can go for a waveform TP, but it's... Yeah, he's pretty screwed.
Dogs. He is dead now. There you go. So it just takes a long time, but they do eventually kill him. Their middle tower is going to go down in response, so that's pretty good by Vega, at least. To just, you know what, make the best of it. But that's a good kill, obviously.
And they discouraged that Roche attempt. So even though Limp was getting some work done on Roche, now it's pretty much all nullified. They waste so much time. Well, not waste. It's definitely worth it to kill the Morphling, but you see how survivable he is. Hanskin was basically playing chicken. If you go for the TP, I will Winter's Curse you. And so, unfortunately, the real you didn't have a choice on this Morphling.
They're really trying to find something over here. Smoked up. Yashikuchi in from Loda. But eventually going to wear off, and realizing their bottom lane is being pushed in. You got Afterlife sitting there with his new Blink Dagger, actually. And Queen of Pain acting like she's buying it herself. So if Alliance baits on that, they want to go over to this bottom, or yeah, the top lane even, way over here at the secondary tower. Sure. There's the Echo Slam on top. Not enough for the initial kill, but it's going to be a kill on a Tusk here as he's just completely blocked off. So yeah, that time EGM lines up the Fissure very well. And going to go for the secondary, but like I said, the bottom lane. You see what LC and Quap are doing.
Yeah, Dire uses their glyph, saves that tier 2. Radiant still have their glyph, and they still have some heroes as well. GTPs to the shrine, not going to find anyone, and Loda just quietly walking away. And Loda actually not going for an early Lincoln Sphere. Instead, looking like he's going to be going for this Maelstrom instead. So completed that to Dragonlance, now going for Maelstrom. Has no boots, which is typically the go-to build these days on Weavers, but this is a product of the fact that Legion Commander had such a bad start in the early game. But now, Afterlife has a Blink Dagger, and Blink Duel is going to be a real concern for Weaver if they ever find the Weaver, which there's a lot of aggressive wards on Radiant right now. They've got pretty much like 80% vision on the Dire primary jungle, and as well as a fair amount of vision on the mid lane as well. So if they find Weaver, they can wipe him out very quickly.
Middle lane, Fissure hits Tusk, but don't really have the reach outside of that. And it seems like that's, well, I mean, they do have Clockwork with the hook shots, I guess, and stuff. But we've seen several of these Fissures now, these max distance Fissures hit, and then just nothing happens. So ideally, you'd like to be able to follow up with that, but still need more progress in the game, including that Blink Dagger on Earthshaker, which 1,500 plus gold saved up, so he is getting there. He has Arcane Boots as well, and a Magic Stick even. Yeah,
EGM has recovered very well. Now out farming the Crystal Mid, and they see the Morphling, or rather,
he
way
sees.
around.
Down into the deep
Silent setup. And this is the aggressive warding coming to play. Not only does Morphling feel safer, which he does have that Lincoln Sphere completed now, and so now there's really nothing that Wyvern can do. He can just straight go for the TP, and you need to pray for either a hookshot or a battery assault to cancel out TPs. Now,
LC going in, the duel on a Limp. G with the follow-up. The Sonic Wave in the midst of it, but Limp stays alive long enough. The cool snap comes out. The Winter's Curse also on to LC. Forces them to attack him. Limp will fall shortly after. And Morphling chases down the Winter Wyvern. Now Morphling is being locked down by Shonen Span. He's killing the bug on top of him. They do lose LC. And the Enchant Totem from EGM as he runs on in. Echo Slam coming up in 6 seconds here. Not going to stay around long enough, though. So a 2 for 2. Either side. But Limp goes down.
Yeah, that curse at the last second. Tusk had the right idea. Legion Commander went in for the duel onto Shadow Fiend, and G immediately followed up with a great Sonic Wave, connecting on both the Winter Wyvern and the Shadow Fiend. But Shadow Fiend is very, very tanky. He's #1 net worth, and he's gone for tanky items. He got the Wraith Band, Strength Power Treads, Magic Wand, Ulti Orb. This is not a damage-oriented Shadow Fiend. It's one that knew that he was going to be taking a lot of harassment. So survived the duel. Ended up dying in the end, but still, Vega Squadron had to commit more than they wanted to. Morphling had to actually spend the waveform to finish off the SF, and as a result, they weren't able to do anything else after that duel ended.
However, for Morphling, that shotgun build, as it's so called, is definitely getting closer. He already has the Ghost Scepter and, of course, the Eagle Song next in line. 3,200 gold needed for it. Already another 1,100 gold saved up. So that's bound to happen here in the near future. And another tool that Alliance is going to have to look out for as the game progresses here. But overall net worth, it is very even. Of course, Morphling has the lead, but Limp, he's keeping up there. What did he go next, by the way? He gets an ultimate orb. Okay, he's going for his own Lincolns, yeah. On to Shadow Fiend, that's right. You mentioned that Weaver decided to pass that up, but...
He was going to be going for it later, but I definitely would not have guessed that Limp would complete a Lincoln's before the Weaver would. But that just goes to show how good Alliance have been at protecting Loda. Even though they have all these aggressive heroes on Vega Squadron, Loda's never really been under threat. Every single fight that Weaver has been taking has been on his terms.
And there's that Lincoln's finish now. On to Shadow Fiend, and we need to come into play down here at the bottom lane because Morphling and Crystal Maiden are waiting by patiently.
Oh, but Morphling goes in, replicates on a Crystal Maiden illusion, and kills off the Earthshaker right off the bat, but now you're in really deep.
Yes, he is. He is dropping the strength shift, just not going to matter. Gets the kill on Earthshaker, but it comes at a massive cost. Shadow Span cannot land the hookshot, unfortunately, so the follow-up is not there. To go for more, Loda looking to chase on the uphill. Not going to be, though. Yeah. Morphling was at the bottom lane. I thought they were setting up on a Limp, and then all of a sudden he appears mid and dies as a result, unfortunately.
Yeah, he was not expecting that quick of a reaction from Alliance. Thought it was a free kill. Was most certainly not. Now we'll see if Vega Squadron can contest this. They definitely don't want to have to buy back Morphling. So if you lose the Roche, it needs to happen in the next 20 seconds. Alliance are kind of getting a little scared, though.
Yeah, it's a lot of poke damage coming out here. In fact, Loda is hitting low.
Oh.
Wow. That's a Sonic Wave. Just something hit it back here, meanwhile. Hook shot, the cocks go up. Afterlife, he's caught with the Winter's Curse activated on a Tusk right there. And the Roshan is going to die. Limp picks up the Aegis. And the Cold Snap on top, not the Cold Snap, the Cold Embrace on top of him. Keep him alive as Tusk will fall in the midst of it. So Limp, he still has an Aegis, remember, cleans up on a Crystal Maiden. They do lose Weaver in the midst of this as now Morphling's back. But the Echo Slam right on time to lock him down. The Strength Shift is enough for the Ghost Scepter up as well. Barely keeping alive. Another Waveform comes up and he will survive in the long run. That's big for Morphling. The fact that he gets out of there. But now, G, he's still standing on his ground. He might regret that, however. He definitely does. Well played by Alliance to finish there. And they keep the Aegis on Shadow Fiend. I think it's the big key.
And that was even like a suboptimal fight from Alliance. They used the Winter Curse and Limp let go his Requiem while the targets were cursed. Ideally, Wyvern was like, okay, I'm going to curse these guys, you finish off the Aegis, or you finish off the Roche and take the Aegis, which they ended up doing. They had to spend Requiem for it, but they get the kill. And then Morphling, like, he keeps having to waveform aggressively, and he's, oh, hookshot connects onto the Legion Commander who was farming Ancients.
He wants a solo kill, and he'll get it. Well played. And he has supported to back him up. Even the double damage room going to be scouted on top of that. So Alliance finding a nice groove right here as far as picking up in this game. And they're definitely going to make use of this. They say you're right. Yeah, so far as communication, maybe not being 100% on point, but they still come out on top despite being a little off, and that's what matters in the fight. And they're going to get the mid-tier one to top it off right here. And now BKB, I mean, it's almost finished on Shadow Fiend. 2,800 gold saved up. And we just finished that fight right there.
It's a very significant net worth for everyone. It was like a 3K net worth shift. Vega Squadron were in the lead at first, and then following that Roche fight, killing off the Morphling basically back-to-back in quick succession. And Quap keeps thinking that this is the oh, Loda might be in trouble in the bot lane. Oh, but he has a Lincolns of his own, so...
Yep. He's being slippery. Has that rewind. A time-lapse even if need be. Winter's Curse to lock down Tusk in place.
Silence dead.
And that should be a kill onto him.
Follow.
Yeah, Crystal Maiden does get picked up in the back lines. EGM will kill secured right there.
Yeah, I was saying that Queen of Pain was thinking that this was the Earthshaker from 5 minutes, but no, this is an Earthshaker at 25 minutes who is very, very well recovered at this point. Blink Dagger completed, going for a Glimmer Cape next, and he's going to be able to defend this top racks all by himself. Morphling uses the waveform, so he knows that Shotgun isn't going to really be that big of a threat. Now Wyvern TPing in. They're going in. Echo Slam in 5 seconds.
He just went out, yeah. There's no replicate there. They'll be fine.
Now Loda finds Afterlife.
Weaver gonna hunt him down. Obviously he can't stop himself. Hookshot, maybe. I hit the creeps.
Oh no,
Yep. It's he tried. He was maybe even hoping that the creeps just weren't there, but obviously not the case.
Yeah, and I mean, even Clockwork's getting quite a bit of gold. Went for that blade mail as suspected, and he's going to be going for a sheep stick next. So I suggested the Orchid, but you know, if you're doing this well, why not go for the more expensive option and go for the Hex?
Well, you see Earthshaker rolling back towards the top lane, trying to maybe get something on Morphling up here, but he is going to TP out before he gets spotted, actually. So instead, as 5, Alliance will group up at the top lane. And look to push
Still have this
tower.
Aegis for about a minute and a half, so this tier 2 should be free. If they go for high ground, they probably could at least threaten, but they need to make sure that Vega also does not try to race them, because at this stage, Morphling clears waves, as you see, very quickly, and can also deal a lot of damage to this tier 3, and looks like Vega are going to go for it, dealing quite a bit of damage to this tier 3, but they want to race it. Glyph is coming out for Radiant.
Nice Shard hits CGM, but he lands a fissure as well. He gets a blink off just before Legion Commander gets in there for a duel back to the top lane. Fortified's used, it's wearing off, getting the tier 3 tower killed at the top lane, so yeah, the race is happening indeed. As Limp and Weaver pushing into the melee racks here. Will be a kill on it.
Pops the Lincolns and then Shadowfing with that double damage ring. He's like, what the hell? Oh, what a shards.
Watch to the bottom lane. Meanwhile, the EGM goes in with the ulti for the Echo Slam. And Jonas the Fan trying to follow this up with a dual activated on him immediately. The real you puts the shotgun out. Not going to be enough, though. Jonas the Fan actually gets a winner right there. He wants to melee rack. He's not going to get it, though. Now back to the top lane. Trying to stop TPs, if anything, but they don't get anything out of it. They didn't get any kills, did they?
No, you really need the Morphling for damage. They tried to go in with the Legion Commander and the Queen of Pain, but they were stalled out by a curse. Bought the Shadow Fiend enough time to escape, as well as the Weaver, and yeah, that worked out. It's not too dramatic. I mean, yes, a melee Rax did go down on the side of Vega Squadron, and unsuccessful by Vega Squadron pushing into Alliance's melee Rax, but very, very weird, because both teams have great team fight. Like, this is not some kind of, you know, Nature's Prophet Lycan type Broodmother draft or something like that where both teams are just like, I don't want to fight. Well, I don't want to fight either. No, both teams have great team fight, but neither one really has great initiation. Alliance is the best option with Hookshot, but, you know, if Jonas and Fan considers to be in their best interest to go for the attack rather than the defense, then they come out on top with 1 Rax.
Worthy tribute.
Through the Radiant jungle here is Alliance, and going to take out a Shrine now, so obviously they have the tier 3 dead, but so does Vega Squadron, so attempting to maybe do the same themselves, as, oh yeah, they already got the Shrine over here. And Loda going to be blocked by those Ice Shards. Unable to chase after them, so a very spread out fight here, or spread out pushing going on.
Both teams have basically just been mirroring each other this entire game. Like, even the outer tower pushes have just been like, okay, you guys can push tier 2, well, we'll also push tier 2, which is what happened during this top and bot tier 2s, but eventually a fight is going to break out, and it will be one with a lot of items being used, because these teams have just been banking quietly, not really been debuting anything too significant, but it's going to be a 5v5 engagement eventually, and it might be here in this top lane, although Morphling is not there, so never mind.
Oh, they're going to try to chase them out, EGM. Just use this blink. Over down here, Shikuchi forward, will spot Crystal Maiden, but doesn't do enough damage before she TPs out, so good retreat again, and yeah, a lot of evasive maneuver happening. Seems like more so on the side of Vega constantly. Preventing these catches from being successful, as there's now a Hurricane Spike, though, finished in full for Shadow Fiend. So as that to go with his BKB and the Lincolns. You could argue a very defensive build on Shadow Fiend.
Oh yeah, for sure. It was even shown by his early game items. Like, this was just his plan from the start. Let Weaver go full glass cannon and let the Shadow Fiend soak up most of the damage. Now that Weaver has completed that Lincoln Sphere, then he's feeling pretty safe, especially if they need a second Lincoln Sphere. They have Limp's Lincoln Sphere, and he can afford to give it up, as now Morphling is in really deep. He has a more replicate, so yeah, that's good.
That's, all right. Very scary maneuver there, but I guess there was really no reason for him to be afraid.
I mean, he's been, like, polishing the shotgun for, like, the past 15 minutes and just has not been able to use it on anyone, so I can understand why the real is getting a little itchy, but
yeah.
It's game 3. Gotta be careful.
Missed the hook shot there. Just to the left of him. Spotted him with the flare even as well. Weaver is going to spot Morphling. Again, with the hook shot being down, though, don't know if they're going to really be able to chase down Morphling here. So he gets a little bit of damage off, but going to try to cut off Crystal Maiden. Oh, boy.
Yeah, it's Arcane Rune from Weaver. He has, like, no cooldown. Meanwhile, Limp kills off Afterlife.
Oh, there you go. Way at the top lane, and Weaver's like, oh, hey, range tracks. Yeah, that's a backdoor protection, though. But, yeah, way up here, they kill off Lifestealer. And then back to Loda. He's going to scoot
Afterlife. Not Lifestealer. I think you said Lifestealer.
Oh, did I maybe? Oh, yeah. It's been a long day.
It has been a very long day.
Game 6 of the day.
And these teams are not making it feel like it's any shorter this game. This has been, like, some of the most methodical play we've seen all day. And, I mean, no team has really been making mistakes, so that's working. But it's definitely a far cry from the bloodbaths we saw earlier in the day.
It's going to stress about Shadow Fiend. Again, that level 20 talent for him, how much of a steroid ability that is. The +2 damage per soul, so he's that much more deadly here. By the way, the courier got picked off. I didn't even notice that earlier. Nothing was on.
Oh, yeah.
Not the biggest deal, I guess. But Weaver's going to find again more flame.
Oh, that's how they killed the Legion Commander. Legion Commander went for the courier kill, and then they promptly returned the favor.
That makes more sense then. Well, Morphling continues to kind of push out, has that replicate up, though, and then gets out as soon as he feels the pressure. So, again, the whole split push idea seems like that's Vega Squadron's go-to strat.
This will do
as it tends to be with Morphling. Oh,
Roche is up in about 1 more second. Okay, and immediately Clockwork scouts it out. So, Dire team is aware. Radiant team, they can send a replicate in if they want. They can send a hero in. They can send the sigil in. Hopefully, a fight will break out. Oh, smoke. Well, bless my heart. Too bad EGM Invisrin breaks it.
Yeah, he blinks away at the last second. The duel goes off on a Winter Wyvern, actually. They are going to get the kill on him, but at what cost now for the LC? He's trapped in the cogs. In the backlines, Elsima running down EGM, who has an Echo Slam still to use if need be. Won't even need it right there, though. Down goes Tusk. And it's a 3-for-1 turn. All they lost was Winter Wyvern. So beautiful fight for Alliance there, and Roshan is up as mentioned. The scout out immediately from Clockwork, and into the Roshan pit we go.
At first I thought that dueling the Legion Commander would have spelled doom for Alliance, but they don't even really need the curse now. Their cores are so farmed that, like, as soon as the Legion Commander jumps in, she will be promptly killed. And so you may be able to sustain for a little bit, but all you really did was just mitigate the threat of Winter's Curse. Limp and Loda are still exceptionally large. They give the Aegis to their Glass Cannon Weaver. Now G on the run.
Yeah, EGM spotted her earlier. They tried to respond and cut her off as they killed the Roshan there, but wasn't to be. Instead, she gets back to base, but yeah, having that Aegis now, as you mentioned, on Weaver as that Glass Cannon style, and it's just, I'm just so amused by this build of Shadow Fiend. I know, I get the concept, but man, now he even has a freaking Satanic to go with this. This is just
hell. I wouldn't even, if he goes Aghanim Scepter, that would be amazing because he got that damage per soul talent, and you know, Winter's Curse is kind of difficult to set up a normal Requiem with, but an Aghanim's Requiem, wow, I can't believe G got that deny. But yeah, an Aghanim's Requiem will be devastating, but I don't think he's going to go for it, but it would be amusing if he did.
Oh, Limp. Going after the Echo Slam in the back lines. Catches Queen of Pain already below half-life. She is going to survive. Press the attack. And the Shrine Use as well. Gets a good, decent Sonic Wave off, actually. But Tusk going to follow Limp just in the front lines. Guess what? As we keep going back to, he's just so tanky right here. Tusk does buyback immediately. Crystal Maiden going to stay dead, though. Satanic was used, but he even still has a BKB. He has his Hurricane Pike to use. I mean, you're just not killing this Shadow Fiend, it feels like.
Honestly, like, we keep focusing on how much he's tanking up, but if we look at the endgame stats, I wouldn't be surprised if Limp has the highest hero damage, because he is destroying these targets. Yeah. Crystal Maiden buys back, but it's like, it's a Hail Mary buyback. You have one set of racks remaining. Top racks is going to get pushed by creeps. You have so much sustain. Weaver still has Aegis.
And now Satanic's back up, ready to go. So here we go. Vega's going to have to try for something. They try for the duel on a Shadow Fiend. That could be a good one. Will it work out at the end? He is going to end up falling. BKB's pop. He stays alive for the time being. Satanic's popped as well. He's barely healing up. The Cold Embrace keeping him alive as well. And now we see Tusk is going to fall off to the side. Morphling going all in right here for the kill with the BKB pop to himself. But now he's in full strength. Not doing the most damage. He'll go down. No buyback. And Alliance may have just done it. Breaking through, looking to take the series 2-1. Indeed it is. GG, well played. Alliance going to move on to the playoffs here.
Very well played. Their draft was exceptional. I thought the Morphling would be an issue, and it was an issue in the early stages of the game, but all they did was needed to hold out. And if you look at the score, you're like, of course Alliance had this. It was 9-30, but like 10 or 11 of those kills came within like the span of 5 minutes. So Alliance were biding their time, and they seized their opportunity and come out on top of this pretty long series, but a series that they definitely needed.
So Limp beat Loda by basically about 700 damage. So it was very close. But yeah, the fact that Limp was even ahead again with this very bulky, tanky build he went.
Yo, shout out to Yonason fan though. 19,000 damage against this Shadow Fiend and Weaver. Where the hell did that damage come from?
Oh, he won a duel, man.
That's true. The right clicks must have been all the right clicks.
Well,
no, well played by Alliance. It was a close series, and I mean, again, like I couldn't fault Vega at all at any point of any of these games. They played well, but Alliance just came out on top today. Tomorrow could be a different story, but yeah, they're going to be moving forward in the summit.
Here we go. We got Alliance moving on. Again, there's still work to be done. Only one of the 4 teams in the playoffs will be making it on to the main event, but it's got to feel good to at least get to that part. Now they're going to sit back and wait to see what happens tomorrow at least. And as I mentioned, it looks like the schedule is now updated. So for tomorrow, and actually from what I can tell, it might be a little bit earlier than expected. Okay, for the schedule I'm looking at, I think that the teams might have had to agree to play a little bit earlier. I'm going to go off what it says right here. So Mouse Sports versus Pro Dota will be the first one. That's set to happen at 7 a.m. Eastern Time, or 1300 Central European Time. So a little bit earlier on in the day. But then the next match, Na'Vi versus Vega, a couple of CIS teams going at it. They're going to play at the default time of the later match of 1 p.m. Eastern, or 1900 Central European Time. So, but those are the group deciders, the elimination matches. Which of those teams will move on to the playoffs as well, and then we'll have our 4-team playoff set. Again, only one team ultimately make it to the $100,000 Summit 7 LAN here. So been having a lot of fun covering the European region so far, and look forward to continuing on through the week into the weekend here, where on Sunday will be the finals to determine that team, of course. But Tsunami, our day for today is wrapping up. You have any shout-outs, any final words from yourself?
Shout out to all these teams. They've been going through a freaking meat grinder of matches, and they're still, persisting through pauses and disconnects and 60-minute games and all that business. So it's you want to get to that point where you're just automatically invited to all these matches and you never have to slug it through these qualifiers, but you see how difficult it can be whenever you're trying to get to that point.
Yeah. Well, thanks again, Tsunami. Always appreciate it. As for people tuning in, guys, we got a big shout out for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed some good Dota here today. And again, be back tomorrow. Looking forward to having some fun, continuing on coverage, like I said, with the Summit 7 European region, at least the qualifiers here. So wrapping up for today, though, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Again, our first match to kick it off will be that Mouse Sports versus Pro Dota, and that follow on later in the day by Na'Vi versus Vega. Until then, have a good night, guys. We'll see you tomorrow